Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday and welcome to Evolve Love. I'm so excited to get talking today because I have so much on my heart that I want to share. And today is an expansion practice. Yes, it is to help us understand where we can create space for more growth. But even more so than that, this episode I feel is one that is really going to just expand our mindset. And that's why I said I'm just so eager to get started on this and to share, because there is a lot on my heart around this subject today. And it's really interesting because at the beginning of the week, I even mentioned that for the month of June, I just keep feeling this word honesty come up. And when I'm speaking with an honest heart, I notice actually that the words flow a lot easier, even if I am afraid to share them. And so at the start of this week, we talked about the image of the bow and arrow with the moon being in Sagittarius on Monday. It was this notion of the string being pulled back on the bow and the fear of launching the arrow. So we talked about how this was an image for what is holding us back. Why are we not allowing ourselves to launch the arrow? And it was so interesting because in preparing for today's episode for Thursday, I had a complete and total reframe, a whole mindset shift around what this pullback means. So today's episode is all about the pull back. But one thing we need to take note of when we're doing this pullback action is, what is it actually doing for the arrow that is placed in the bow? It is building momentum. It is generating energy. It is increasing strength. So though we might not be letting go of the arrow and launching it yet, the pullback is so important as well. It is what is building us up for what is to come. So in pulling back, we are taking clearer aim for the target. And in doing so, we build more clarity and precision. And with this clarity and precision, we are amplifying that by the power and momentum that is building in that pre-launch state. And so while in the beginning, I was talking about this, not necessarily in a negative light, but in a limiting light. Today, I look at the pullback in a completely different way. So if you are feeling the same pullback, I want you to share in this with me and know that though we may feel apprehension around launching, this is a beautiful stage right here, because this is the stage that is going to help us feel clarity around how and when we do want to let go and launch. So today's exercise to expand, I want us to actually prepare our bodies more for this launch. So in your body, I want you to think about, where do you feel your drive and your desire for creations to come? So a lot of the time, we might feel a very strong connection to a part of our body when we begin to think of these things that light us up, these projects that we want to take on, these ideas that we have. Some of us may contribute this to intuition, inner voice. Some of you may contribute it more to energy centers in the body. But I feel for many of us, it is very specific. We could find a meditation to help us find this particular space. But right off the bat, is there an area where you feel yes, this is where my creations arise from. And personally, I often feel this in my heart space. I feel very heart-led, but at the same time, I feel a strong connection to my throat as well, and my voice and the use of my words. So what is maybe inspired within my heart, kind of like this glowing, bursting feeling of light, I know that it then is shared a lot of the time through my voice. And I know this is different because a lot of the time, a lot of my inspiration is related to dance and the choreography that I do in my life. But when I'm not actually the one speaking this, I am sharing it through my voice in another way. So like my voice is the choreography. It comes through in that way, even if I might not be speaking it. But yet at the same time, I do still feel a strong connection to when I'm able to speak it. So with this, with finding the space in our body, I want us to ask, what can we do today to open this area? Because when we open this area, we're creating more potential for our creations to have more space to kind of like move around with, and also to like grow and develop. And it creates that safety. It creates still like that growth of what could be. So for my heart today, what am I thinking that I can do to expand my heart space? So this would be a day where I'm going to take some physical movement action, and I'm going to do some like baby back bends, maybe some sphinx poses, some cobras, really being mindful of my shoulders drawing down into my back so that my heart can really be forward and open. Maybe some cat-cows with the emphasis on that opening of the chest, maybe pressing, just even as simple as like in standing, pressing my palms back with my shoulders down and just opening up through my collarbones. Rows as like a weightlifting exercise, because when we have a strong back, it helps us to feel our chest more open, that heart area more open. So where in your body are we thinking for you? So like, say you feel it in your center, you feel it in your gut, which so many people, I hear this, so this is the one that I'm using for an example. But when I think of the gut, I think of the center, I think of this core fire igniting. So how can we light a fire and ignite our core? Finding a really beautiful core workout on YouTube or wherever you get your workouts, expanding that space with maybe a really beautiful upward dog, maybe even doing some hip circles and standing, some gentle hip circles that'll bring some like movement into that center. Maybe specifically looking up a yoga flow for the solar plexus. And these are just ideas, again, for your center. Now, what if you feel your creations in your mind? This is a space that we don't necessarily have like workout movements for, but there are ways that we can go within to help this. And if you want to try some movement, you could try some neck stretches, some head circles. For this area, I really love doing child's pose, placing my forehead on the ground and just rocking over the top of my forehead from side to side. Even just meditating is a beautiful mind exercise to create that space. So maybe looking up meditation specifically for clearing your mind, or connecting with like your third eye chakra, your crown chakra, anything like that can help you to like focus in on those places. So once we have opened these spaces, the places that house our desires, that are the birthplaces for the projects that we are wanting to launch, and maybe even the things that we are most afraid of sharing, because like that's what we talked about on Monday, is where are we holding ourselves back? When we give to these places in our body, in our physical beings with love, and we show patience to them, it really helps us to feel safer and held by ourselves in when it is time to launch that arrow. So today we are going to connect deeply with ourselves and really create a beautiful practice for what we are specifically needing to help expand. Because in this momentum phase, this is the preparation stage. So how can we prepare in this building of momentum so that we may be able to then launch when we are ready. So I want to thank you all so much for being here today. I hope you have a beautiful Thursday. I'm so grateful to you. I'm grateful for your listens, for your support. Make sure you're following me over on Instagram at _evolvelove, because I'll be sharing so much there. And if you feel called to share this episode with a friend you think that may need it, that would be so appreciated, just because it really helps to get the spread of Evolve Love out there. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I am so excited to checking back in with you tomorrow.